Where we live is a river valley that's been flooded to make a series of lakes. Everything else around us is much higher, and it makes difficulty in getting a TV signal. Now, I'm only interested in the stations that are to the north and east. The ones in the outer circle are almost impossible to get with an antenna signal in UHF. Or at least they were until just a few years ago when they did a major upgrade of a lot of the systems and boosted the wattage. So now just a smaller antenna would be fine. But Bertha has been in the family for a long time, and she's done well. So we kind of hate to lose her. So I'm just going to refurb her a little bit and put her back up. For those of you old enough to remember, we used to have VHF antennas. They look like a flat skeleton of a fish. VHF was a lower frequency signal than what we have now, and it carried an analog signal. It built the picture with an analog wave, and when you got a little interference, rain, too far from the station, it would just look like it was interference, like deciduous lines or what we used to call snow or static. When high definition TV came along, we went to UHF, which was ultra high frequency instead of very high frequency. And when that happened, we got a digital signal. So everything came in ones and zeros. It was really, really different. And you either got the ones and zeros that put the picture on the screen, or you didn't. So you either got the signal to work or you didn't. There was no fuzziness or interference in the middle. So the stations that were really far away, there was no signal. There was no chance of getting it. Only the ones within about roughly 30 miles. Never mind those 60 miles ones. This is a DB8, or it has 8 sets of whiskers on it, and it has a reflector on the back, which is a screening, and it's a digital antenna, unlike the analog antennas of years ago. So I began researching digital antenna design and came up with a series of plans that hopefully would lead to getting the signals that no one else seemed to be able to get, about double the distance. And I actually have an online instructable that gives complete detailed directions on how to build this antenna, should anyone be interested. I'll leave a link to it in the description with this video. So, who is Bertha? Well, let you take a look at her. She's a little under the weather right now, but here she is. This is Bertha, and I'll show her to you in more detail. But right now, she's a little tilted because we had a big wind, and I don't think that she survived this antenna mount. Or this antenna mount survived her. So I've got to take her down and make something better to hold her up, because she's a big girl, and this antenna mount was not meant for a girl like Bertha. It was not easy getting her down. So here's Bertha after all these years. It's a big antenna. And the reason that it's so big and it's homemade has to do with the signals that we wanted to get from quite a distance um, long ago. So we have 4 sets of whiskers on each gang of the antenna, and it's really 2 antennas that are coupled into one. I made it with aluminum and from chicken wire, galvanized chicken wire. Um, all of this stuff pretty much comes from a big box store, and it's put together. This is a vinyl board. I didn't use regular board because I didn't want to have to paint it and have it deteriorate on me. But Bertha has worked really well for when we needed her at the beginning right up until now. I could put up a much smaller antenna at this point. It would work because the TV stations have a few years ago increased their power, their wattage a lot. So a small one would work, but Bertha's been in the family for so long and she's a lot of work to put up. She's pretty heavy. And I've got to make a new antenna mount for her that I just can't retire her. So what we're going to do, I might change out all of these screws that are rusted for some new stainless steel hardware. She deserves that after all this time. And we had a rotor on here because we had to point directly at these remote stations. I mean, directly within a couple of degrees in order to get them in, but that's not necessary anymore. I haven't moved the rotor in years. So I'm going to take this off because it's a heavy thing. And I've got a new pipe, a new one-piece pipe for her. And then we'll check everything out. We'll check out all of the splitters and the bowling coils and everything else and make a new mount for her. And then we'll put her back up. Well, this new pipe isn't exactly quite long enough. It's about this long. It's going to lose about a foot compared to the other one, and I wanted height. But the old pipe fits snugly over the new one. So I think I'll drill some holes through it and bolt them together. And I can slide it over as much as I want to get exactly the right height. Don't want it too tall. Well, there she is, all ready to go up. I don't know what the weight is. I estimate it's probably about 60, 70 pounds altogether with the pipe. So I got it propped up there, so I should be able to go up on the roof and then hoist it up to mount it. She's sort of refurbished a little bit. She's in very good shape. Painted some stuff, new wires, taped them down, lengthened the pipe, straightened out the whiskers. Getting them all in line with the plane is very important. And Bertha's ready to do her thing again. Well, Here I am sitting in my grubbies. It's late afternoon. It's been a good day and it is beautiful here. And I'm sitting out back. I'm not even sitting by the water. I'm sitting on an umbrella out back, but it is just gorgeous here. And there's Bertha propped up against the house, ready to go up at some point. Today we're doing a little welding. I've got some 1 1/4 inch angle iron, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the antenna mount. I'm going to build one that will hold Bertha. Got to do some cutting, got to do some welding. Okay, we've got 4 pieces that are 1 foot long, and they will be welded together like this. But I got some more cutting to do. And here we have all the pieces. I have to drill some holes in those right now. So, what is this, you say? This pipe will extend up beyond the eaves because I have a metal roof and the snow just curls over and takes anything with it. I had actually had one welded up without a brace like this, and it bent it as if it wasn't even there. So I'm hoping that this will do the trick. This is a great time to ask, will this work? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it always does in my mind. So there's the chimney and there's the roof, and the wire comes down and goes right into the eaves there. And then this is the mount that I have that will mount up underneath the eaves. So I don't have a camera that hooks onto my chest or anything, so you've seen it before and you'll get an after picture when I'm done. So here's the wire mount mounted into the eaves, and with a little luck this one won't be torn off by the snow ripping off the roof, and it'll work. Here so far is the mount put on the chimney, and I've got a ratchet strap around it to hold it on while I put the other lashing cables around it. That's just temporary. And I've got one of the U-bolts down there because the chimney will sit on that after I've got it up. Antenna mount all put up. Galvanized wire going around, rated at about 400 pounds. Tension shouldn't be a problem. You can see how I did this. I've got 2 U-clamps here, but I thought I bought 6, but I was missing one, so I've got to come up and put another one on later on. And this is where the antenna will mount, right here. So all I've got to do now is go down and get the antenna, which won't be too much fun because it's big, and put it up here. Well, she's back up. all connected. Here she is on the mount. Now, I've got a bunch of coils of wire here, and for good reason. I know it's probably not a good thing to have them this way, you know, for spurious signals getting in, but I do it for a really good reason. This cable is now about 2 feet above the roof. If the snow should take that pipe out again, I did this last time, the coils will let go and it'll be enough so that it won't rip things apart up here at the amplifier or the rest of the antenna. So that's the reason for it. And I don't seem to lose any of the signal I have downstairs. All my stations still come in. So that's why that's like that. Not the best solution, but a good solution for what I need it for. The mount is with galvanized cable. I have yet to put that U channel up. I'll leave the ladder up until I get another one. This is how it's mounted here, and it is sturdy. That's not going anywhere. Wraps right around the chimney, and that's going to be good against the bright sunlight. All ready to go.